Yo, Prince Sports here. Question: who's the best sidekick ever in NBA history? Yo, what's up? Prince Sports here. I want to talk about some historic number twos in NBA history. Guys that won championships, being the clear-cut Robin of the team. Every team in NBA history has a number one guy, a Batman, so to speak. But sometimes the sidekick doesn't get talked about or mentioned as much. So I thought it makes sense for us to talk about number twos. Guys that either sacrifice their game to be a number two in order for a team to win, or just was flat out, not a franchise player, but a perfect number two player, a perfect sidekick, you know, to help a superstar win. Now, before I get to my top three, let's do honorable mentions. Honorable mentions are Magic Johnson. He was the team leader, but he was also a sidekick for some of his championships. He took a back seat to Kareem sometimes. But here's a flip side to that. Kareem took a back seat to Magic Johnson as well. So Kareem and Magic Johnson both were sidekicks. And they took turns being leader of the team, which in itself is historic. You never seen two leaders going back and forth, being number ones and twos. That's awesome within itself. So those are definitely honorable mentions. But when you think of Magic and Kareem, you think of normally two guys that are leaders. So you don't really think of them as being number twos. So that's why I didn't put them on that list. Number three, the third greatest sidekick of all time that you would like to have on your team is none other than Dwayne the Flash Wade. Okay, one of the greatest shooting guards of all time. He was also a franchise leader. He led his team to a championship in 2006. He's a great leader, but in order for him to win championships, he took a backseat at some point. And once LeBron got there, he openly told all you guys that he had to take a backseat role. He had to be a number two in order for the Miami Heat to win. Because the only way that team could flourish is if Dwayne Wade takes a backseat to LeBron James. Now, he clearly realized LeBron was the younger, better player at the time. And to have him be a number two didn't make sense. He came to the team to win. And Dwayne Wade also wanted to win. Now, as a number two, Dwayne Wade averaged 22 points a game, playing alongside LeBron James. And they managed to get to the finals 4 times, winning 2 out of those 4 finals. They could have won more if their team was in place better. Keep in mind, those 3 guys they put on that Miami Heat, they ate up that salary cap so much that the Heat went out to get spare parts because they had to get guys on the cheap. 2011 team says it all. Carlos Arroyo, old Drew Agauskas. So they had a lot of old pieces on that team. But that's all they could afford at the time. They had Joel Anthony. He was pretty good. He was a decent role player, but he had scoring deficiencies. But they just didn't have enough team, But even with lacking a good all-around team, they were still able to reach the finals based off star power, based off 3 guys. 3 guys was enough for the Miami Heat to get to the finals in 2011, even though they weren't a championship team. That's amazing within itself. And you could make a case that they could have won in 2011, even with that weak roster outside of the big 3. But yes, Dwayne Wade comes in at number 3 as the greatest sidekicks ever, because he played the role as a sidekick for 4 years of his career. All right, number 2. Number 2 is none other than the second greatest shooting guard of all time, Kobe Bean Bryant. No, the late great Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe came into the game playing with Shaq. Clearly, it was Shaq's team. He was the best player in the league at the time. The NBA and the Los Angeles Lakers picked up the biggest free agent, and the Lakers needed a team to surround Shaq with. I mean, when you have a leader of a team, you need to put surrounding pieces to help that superstar win. And the notion when you play with Shaq, you need a scoring guard. I mean, he played with scoring guards his whole entire career, from Wade to Anthony Hardaway to Kobe. And Shaq would tell you his greatest sidekick was Kobe Bryant. Um, so Kobe being number 2 to Shaq was clearly the case. I mean, that was Shaq's team. 3-time Finals MVP. Jordan retired, and you can make a case from 1999 to 2002. Shaq was arguably the best player on the planet. You know, during that three-peat run, most dominant player as well. But Kobe Bryant wasn't only the greatest sidekick to Shaq. He also had abilities to become a number 1. After Shaq left, he decided to become a number 1 and taking a leadership role. But that still doesn't mean he wasn't a role player. I mean, not role player, a sidekick. So him being a sidekick. Oh boy. Yes, like I was saying, him being a sidekick helped propel his career to being a leader. So you can't take that away from Kobe Bryant. He did his thing during that time frame, and he was clearly a number 2. He was the best sidekick Shaq ever played with, and he's number 2 on my list. Number 1 is none other than the man that helped Michael Jeffrey Jordan win 6 championships. And Jordan never won a championship without this guy. That's Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is the best sidekick in NBA history, because not only could he help a team win, he did all the other stuff to help you win. Defense, steals, rebounding, and he could still score because he averaged in double digits in scoring. Pippen was exactly what the doctor ordered for a guy like Michael Jordan, but he would have been a perfect sidekick to even a player like Kobe or Dwayne Wade or LeBron James. He was just perfect as that number 2 guy. And the reason why he's ranked as number 1, the best sidekick in NBA history, is for the simple fact that he was clear cut, not a franchise leader. Okay, Kobe and Dwayne Wade were and is franchise leaders. They had the abilities to become number 1s. Scottie Pippen never was viewed as a number 1, and he's a great player, but he's not the type of player you want to become your best option, your best player in the game, or your go-to guy. He was always best as being the number 2. So there you go. My top 3 best sidekicks of all time. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. You know how we do. Man, it's hard for me to do videos out here a little bit. It's too much distractions, man. Bees flying in my face. All that other crazy stuff, man. But peace.